Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Vino Volley. We want to first and foremost thank you for starting your 2024 off with this fantastic podcast. As always, I'm your host, Michael Wall, and with me is my best bud and co-host, Ryan Rebecca.
That's right. New year, same us.
Correct.
Only colder and more miserable.
Ryan, did you make any New Year's resolutions?
Not officially, but I will say I've hit it hard over the last couple weeks, working out at least once a day, trying to get Beachbody ready. That on top of course, letting a novel virus infiltrate my body shortly after we last recorded.
That's right. Yeah. Ryan had the COVID, and despite his best efforts, did not infect my entire family with it.
That's
so,
true.
You know,
I called you the next day. I'm like,
sorry.
Mike.
Social distancing though, being 8 feet apart. Good thing we don't have better equipment so that
this microphone is fucking riddled.
Yeah, you're probably gonna reverberations. You might get a second bout of it.
Well,
but,
fucking
yeah. So I mean,
whatever.
As we've mentioned on previous podcasts, Ryan and I are close to that round age of 40.
Yep.
And there's two ways to go about it: is just to let yourself become just a fat bag of shit, or go lean and mean. And so Ryan and I have dipped heavily into the lean and mean.
Yep.
And so
running smoothies, doing push-ups, just
fart and blood.
Yeah, just seeing where it takes me. I mean, you're losing fluid, so I guess you're losing weight too. You did mention the round age of 40. Our goal, of course, is to not be round.
Correct.
And
lean and mean.
By the time you open up your pool, just not have our wives just cringe in disgust.
As it was aptly put to me, I don't want to look like my midsection is like trying to stuff a Christmas tree into a garbage bag. It's just like all overflowing. So we're going to try and keep it level. And the main goal is really that the top is farther out than the bottom.
Correct.
Because pale guy, so I'm a rash guard person. So pretty much my wife and my child are the only people who are going to see me shirtless. So if my top sticks out farther than my bottom in a good way, I think most shirts I'm gonna look better than what could be underneath.
100%,
so that's
100%.
That's the main goal.
But yeah, no, feeling good. It wasn't a rough bout of the vid this time around, but I was home cleaning, mopping, vacuuming, cooking,
shitting. No,
I didn't. It was just like,
I
was tired. I slept till 10 in the morning, which is unheard of.
That's it. Yeah,
can't do that anymore.
No.
But looking forward to the days getting longer. Just figuring out these next couple months before coaching fires back up. We're in the middle of hockey with my my oldest. Signed the boys up for one for travel soccer, one for in town, and I'm back. I got my whistle ready. I'm gonna take it out.
I don't think you really ever left, as I have
one in my pocket right now.
Been able to partake in some of Ryder's hockey games, and he may be a parent in the stands, but you wouldn't know it as just constantly yelling. And I get fired up too. I love it.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Love it. So a couple things of note is that we crossed the threshold 500 followers on the Instagram account, which is awesome. And thank you to everyone who's a listener and has joined. And hopefully, we gain more listeners every day. So we don't want to stop there. We want to keep that number growing. So again, thank you to everyone. There'll be probably appreciation posts later. If you haven't already, subscribe, VinoVolley85 on Instagram. Our main means of communication is vinovolley85@gmail.com. And the website, which is a way for folks to review the wines that we have drank and provide a link to them. Check out the website. Again, it's too much of a mouthful because I was too much of a cheap bastard to upgrade my Wix account to register the domain name. So go to the Instagram account. It is linked there. And again,
linked.
Boom. Technology, right?
Full Zelda.
All wines are posted there with our review, our score, and a link to Vivino. So if you couldn't remember Ryan's reading of the label,
which is 100% culturally accurate.
It doesn't help though sometimes. I appreciate it. Our viewers might not. But anyway. So there's a picture of it, because pictures sometimes are better than words, and that would be the way that you can pick it out in a store. Now, as we start the new year, some things will remain, and there's going to be some things that are new.
Love it.
Mike Wall, Honesty Hour, I don't think can go away because we've always need to correct ourselves for something. The other part, though, that we are going to start, when applicable, as we have breached into other countries and I'm going to say you mostly tend to offend some of those listeners. We have instituted the Crofty Cultural Correction Hour, in which our listener from across the pond will add his 2 cents about things you may have said about the British people. Maybe good, maybe bad. But we'll air those corrections.
Hey, we're here to edutain. You know, people are here to learn.
Did you say edutain?
Edutain.
Like educate and entertain?
Yeah.
Is that
edutain? Yeah.
Seems like a venereal disease.
Oh yeah,
I got that edutain.
Yeah, got that burn.
Really?
It's like the stodgy bake. Stodgy bake. That's like the English word for getting the burn from a girl in the back seat of a what I assume is a Lotus. That's an English car. An MG. Well, it'd be the front. They don't have the back seat.
What's the Turok? What's the?
That's a Volkswagen Turok. The shittiest.
No, what's the Toyota? It's like the Tacoma version. That's
the Hilux.
The Helix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get them here, which sucks, but that's a whole different story for another day.
Yeah, not for this podcast.
Nope.
So, to that, Mike Wall, Honesty Hour.
Come clean. It's a new year.
I think it's you. So, during our last podcast, we talked about concussions, and I think it was as we were talking, or maybe it was...
No, it was the captain almost dropping dead on the field.
That's right. So, that was actually 2 episodes ago.
Oh,
it was Luton Town. And you had mentioned Duron Harmon as someone that had dropped on the field. Yeah, don't. So that was, we were corrected.
Trying to find the name for the Buffalo Bills player who collapsed on the field.
Correct. It was not Duron Harmon, who was a 3-time Super Bowl champ with the New England Patriots, which is probably why it stuck out in your head as a Patriots fan. It was Damar Hamlin.
That is correct. He might win Comeback Player of the Year this year. Damar Hamlin.
I mean,
I don't know what Duron Harmon's doing.
I feel like that would be warranted.
Coming back from death, I would imagine it's pretty good. Yeah.
I will say, I don't know if it's something that needs to be talked about, but I feel like more than I remember, a lot of players are just collapsing on the field.
Yeah.
You had Christian Eriksen during the Euros. They've had, several fans where they've stopped games because players have been pointed out, like, just people are like...
A couple hockey players, too.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not
CrossFit. I blame CrossFit. None of these athletes do CrossFit. I'm just trying to find it.
It's how do you know when someone does CrossFit? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
So anyway, Damar Hamlin. So correct that. And then
both start with D and H. So I'm not going to apologize. You can see where I made the mistake. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, but that's why we have the Mike Wall Honesty Hour, which should probably include the Rebecca on. I didn't say it. And then for our first ever Crofty Cultural Correction Hour, it's actually in the positive column as Crofty confirmed, as we had talked about on the podcast, that the half and half scarf are a big no-no in the UK, and you should get your ass kicked.
Love it.
Now, to that, we actually had a write-in kind of talking about a little bit of a hot take on the scarf, which I feel like is perfect opportunity to segue into that as we have utilized the Crofty Cultural Correction Hour. Hopefully... keep those coming. Hopefully they're in the plus column, not the minus column as you... I'm going to say you because I don't really think I offend.
No, I might say some things today.
Fantastic. Great. So we'll have some negatives for the next episode. But Samantha wrote in as a hot take for the scarf, kind of agreeing with us as far as our opinions, but wanted to just add a little bit to the scarves with the faces on them. Obviously, we weren't fans of them. They didn't look great, but we didn't really go into too much. Now, Sam has gone the extra length and said that because it's a face on a scarf, doesn't it make that face decently punchable?
Ooh, both the player and the wearer of scarf?
Well, hands down, the wearer, but...
Someone's getting hit.
Someone's getting hit. So the knit kind of distorts the face, and personally, she thinks that it makes it look more smug and logically punchable.
That's good. That's a good take.
To which I agree, but the problem is that usually it's like legends of the club, which, again, if it's Liverpool... we obviously know they're untouchable.
Yeah.
But any other club, sock that fucker right in the face. So it goes on to say that not only that, but by wearing a face scarf, as we said, you'd probably want to punch that fan wearing it at that point. So you'd probably just be better to punch them in the face, which I agree.
Yeah, send the message. Yeah.
So it's a 2-for-1 punchable offense.
Love it.
Is you went and you decided, yes, this would be a good idea to have my face on a scarf. That puts you in a front runner seat to be punched, and then likely the idiot who decided this is going to be a good look for them, like rolled out of the house and was like, nailed it. I've got somebody's face just wrapped around my tits. Because, I mean, if you wear it, that's where it.
Yeah. Nipple height.
Yeah, you'll be punched as well. So, Sam, good insight. Love it.
Thanks, Sam.
Love the hot take. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anything else we want to... Any airing of grievances?
No airing of grievances. I am excited to drink wine.
Okay, so then...
/ to drink, period, because I think I've had one alcoholic beverage since I got sick.
I'm partaking in, as you know, a damp January. So besides the two
soggy January,
just damp, just a little damp, moist January.
Okay.
So besides this episode and the other episode we're recording this month, I am not drinking.
Okay.
Again, in that lean and mean.
Yep.
So to all our Vino Volleyers out there, it is time to pop those corks, indulge in a healthy pour, and dive stud showing in today's episode.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So Rye Guy.
Yep.
Before we really get into the topic of conversation, let's hear about the wine we're going to be drinking today.
What are we going to be imbibing in tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, as promised, connecting to our major topic, we are going to be drinking the Francis Ford Coppola Diamond Collection Paso Robles Cabernet Sauvignon Vintage 2020. From wine.com, the price point is around $19, but I believe it is on sale right now for $17.99. Go get yourself a bottle. Treat yourself.
I didn't get the sale. I paid over.
Classy gentleman. Yeah. The winemaker notes on this bottle. I'm going to really sultry this one up a little bit.
Can't wait.
Aromas of black peppercorn, black cherry, blackberry, and char. Like wood char, not like the Arctic char, which is a fish, I'm assuming. Vibrant flavors of black and red fruit, along with clove, spice, anise, layered vanilla, and tobacco. Medium-bodied with a bold tannin structure.
There's a lot to chew there.
Just
I didn't like that. We're going to keep it in, but I could have
sexied that up a little bit more, too. I'm wearing far too many clothes for something that sexy. Anyway, it has a 13.5% alcohol content and is a California coast because it's from Paso Robles. So there you go.
All right. Well,
I'm excited.
Let's get the cheers on.
I think we're getting better at it.
The key is to not fill the glass too high so that it's empty and that
acoustics.
The acoustics, that's right. If the glass is too full, then it's dulled by the liquid.
Glass always has to be half full. All right, looking at it, a nice red color, not super dark, which is weird based on the tasting notes. I thought it would be a little bit more purple, but it's good. Got a good dark, sexy red to it. It's gonna be a sexy episode tonight.
I'm gonna dip my dick in it.
Ooh, you get the like the vanilla on the nose right away.
No clove or anise yet, but hoping that's on there. It's definitely got good legs. It is. I mean, it's a good color, but it is. I thought it would have more body to it. Like I can see a shimmer through it.
I like that a lot. That is like a very familiar taste. It's like that's a Cab Sav right there. As they call it in the biz, Cab Sav.
That's exactly what it is. All right, what do you?
you seem unimpressed.
Yeah, that's a Cab Sav. Well, that's what it's labeled as. So
I can read. Yeah. Can't do numbers, but sure as shit can read. Yeah. Getting all of, coincidentally enough, a lot of, black flavors in there. Like the peppercorns. Definitely getting the black cherry and the blackberry. Not getting the char, but the vibrant flavors of black and red fruit on it. Vanilla on it. Not getting the tobacco yet, but we'll see where this takes us. But right away, smooth, super familiar taste. Your run-of-the-mill quality Cab Sav.
Yeah, definitely. It's a little bit bolder than what we've had lately, in a good way. Definitely agree with a lot of berry, cherry. Not getting as much vanilla.
Okay.
Hoping that I do try and get some of those subtler notes, the char, the tobacco, the anise, that would be a good one. So we'll see how it opens up.
Anise, anise, tomato. I really think it doesn't matter. Officially, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not anus. That would be a different.
That would be a
different
whole different category of wine. It's a toilet wine. That's where you get that good old toilet wine is where you get that anise.
So we're drinking Francis Coppola wine. Tell the folks what's the connection, why we're drinking this for the main topic today.
Well, so the tie-in Francis Ford Coppola, obviously a famous movie director and also uncle of famous actor Nicolas Cage, who decided not to take the family name. The link, obviously, is we're kind of in the entertainment area of soccer, and we're going to be talking about some of our favorite TV shows and favorite movies that incorporated soccer. We did ask for some write-ins. We got one. Jess wrote a little bit about her thoughts of famous TV shows and movies. So we'll kind of talk about our favorites, why they're our favorites, and maybe, there might be some gems out there that people haven't seen.
Yeah.
Probably not, but you never know. So yeah, that's basically going to be the go-ahead, and obviously the segue is the wine, as he was in the movie biz.
Awesome.
So to start, I will read Jess's thoughts on some of the movies. And so as far as the media goes, Jess was pretty honest and said that she has not consumed a ton of soccer media. The thought was, for TV, was Ted Lasso. And I have that on my list as well, so we'll talk about that. Obviously, just a great show all around. It does, the central theme or central aspect that brings it all together is the fact that he goes to coach a soccer team. But obviously, folks who have seen the show know it's so much more. So
much more.
We'll get into that. And although she hasn't seen it yet, Taika Waititi does have a movie coming out, and unfortunately it's in a limbo right now where it's not in theaters and it's not on streaming, so we weren't able to watch it yet, but Next Goal Wins, which is kind of his take on the famous story of the New Zealand.
The Kiwis.
New Zealand, a soccer team that holds the record for the largest defeat in World Cup history, so it's kind of that coach.
Good at rugby, not good at soccer.
You can't win them all.
Speaking of, we also had someone reach out, true gentleman, by the name of Bill George. He is a movie connoisseur. He and my brother, AJ Rebecki, have a podcast, Should I Go See It, on all the major platforms as well. And he is a true movie buff. He will be crossing the threshold of 1,000 movie reviews this year. And he reached out and gave a couple takes of soccer media to send our way, which was awesome. We're going cross platforms here between podcasts, so I thought that was pretty cool. He was in support of that as well.
I'd say Taika Waititi. I don't know if that's it's close enough.
Yeah.
But he Next Goal Wins was his first and foremost pick. And then the other one, which I think is something to take in, is the 13 Lives, which is this is not a word for me, dramatization.
Yeah, you got it. Nailed it.
I think.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
come a long way.
Dramatization of the rescue of the boys' soccer team in the flooded caves of Thailand. So a little bit,
that's right.
So a little bit more of a deeper, serious vibe, but definitely, as we're always trying to grow our brand, but we want to give it out to those who deserve it. And so take a listen to Should I Go See It? They do have a lot of great insight on movies, and definitely these are two that are on my list now to expand my palette when it comes to the media, I'll say, for TV and movies.
Yeah.
So, Rye Guy, why don't we start with you?
Ooh, okay.
We'll start with the TV realm, and then we'll dip into the movies. So, TVs might be a little bit.
It's going to be a short list.
It's going to be a short list, but
So if we're talking straight up TV, and we've mentioned it before, I'll always support the statement that the product of soccer is one of the best sporting products on TV, bar none. I think soccer is number one. You get 45 minutes, you get a quick halftime, and you're back in action. You're in and out in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So the product of soccer as an entertainment medium, unbelievable.
We wish it could get better.
Yes.
Which actually, there's our friend from across the pond told me that as we kind of talked about, and we'll probably have another episode of soccer and media from just like that standpoint of being able to watch all the cups and everything.
Yep.
We're lucky.
Yeah.
So they have basically, as far as I understand it, like a blackout where you cannot watch any of the games except for the featured game of that day. So it's from 12 to 3 their time.
Yeah.
Or you're just unable to get any of the games.
It's just whatever they choose to.
Correct. And it's just the one game. So when we're able to switch between Peacock and NBC, USA and all that to watch all those games, they don't have it. So even as and again, we'll have it in a future episode, talk about what could be done, we got it pretty good.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yep. So that is kind of where I wanted to start. Obviously, Ted Lasso, and I feel like that's going to come up a lot.
Yeah,
and that's probably at the top of both of our lists.
Correct.
An incredibly well-done television show around the topic of soccer, but it's really so much more, right? It's a heartfelt comedic drama. You know, it checks a box for everyone. I mean, we were talking about it today with my coworkers at lunch, and the idea that, like, people who don't have an athletic bone in their body or don't follow sports, they're like, I freaking love Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I mean, when it first came out, we were trying to talk about it, and I was like, can you really classify it as a soccer show? And by definition, you obviously can, because the premise is, you know, he goes to England to coach a soccer team. But it is so much more. Like, I told Jess the other day that it's probably, I have it saved on my Instagram account. Mm-hmm. There's probably maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, I will watch the dart scene from season 1, where, you know, he talks about, like, be curious, not judgmental. Yeah. Obviously, I say that, and I now feel like a big piece of shit. Like that. Our favorite segment in the show is we talk about who we're going to punch in the face. Talk about not being curious and being totally judgmental, but it's just like, it's such a feel good. Yeah, it was a show that you felt good about yourself, and I think you wanted to just be better. Yeah. And obviously, I think the beauty of it was it didn't have any of the normal, like, relationship tropes. Mm-hmm. It paved its own path. Like, that wasn't part of it. Like, there were relationships in the show, of course, but there was never any real drama about it. They ended as they should, or they stayed together, and you were kind of like, you were okay with it. Yeah. And it's just like, it just goes to show, like, and even like, they were so good at being like, hey, we're going left, we're going left. And you're like, okay, this is exactly where it's going. And then right then, like, oh, we're taking a hard right turn. It's just like, what? But again, in just such an amazing way. And it had just so many powerful scenes that I still think just, not just one of the best soccer shows, the best. It is like one of the best shows.
I never go back and rewatch anything. And like, that might be one where I go back and rewatch. One of my major knocks on it is I actually wanted more soccer. Like, I wanted more in-game. I wanted more, like, practice footage. But that's just, I guess that could be like the coach in me, where I wanted to, like...
Sure, but again, that wasn't the point of the show, right? And I mean, you could see it got better as seasons went on, but season 1, like, the scenes, like, on the soccer pitch were hard to watch, because it's just like, it just looked like slow motion. But again, you just understood that this was the premise to just do everything else they wanted to do. Yeah. It wasn't the main focus. So,
and speaking of Ted Lasso, I have my side cup over here, my water cup, to keep me well lubricated.
To the classically handsome Brett Goldstein.
Brett Goldstein, right there.
He's there. He's every fucking where I can.
Which that is on the back of the cup.
Love it.
So
that is classic.
I got that going right now. And Halloween 3 years ago, I went as Ted Lasso. So yeah, Ted Lasso I think is going to be on the list for most people. I think right now, like, when they listen to this, they'll be like, yep, 100%. I took it upon myself over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, to finally watch Green Street Hooligans.
And we'll hold on that. Okay. We're not in movies yet. We're gonna. So you had Ted Lasso?
So, Ted Lasso for TV. Are we doing Netflix, or is that a sub-separate streaming?
That could, as long as it's not like a documentary where it's a one-off. I mean, obviously, I would assume your love of David Beckham, that would have been a soccer TV, right?
Okay. Yeah. Run that. That's a good one too, because that's got a little bit for everyone. If you have no interest in soccer and just want to look at some eye candy for several hours, yeah, there you go. You get David and Posh Spice Beckham. There you go. You get weird-faced Gary Neville. Always just looks confused and or perplexed.
Poor Gary Neville.
Yeah. Anyway, Netflix did release, over the last couple of weeks, a documentary, Captains of the World. Mm-hmm. I went to start it and then had to stop because I had a massive erection. Even in the... figuratively, not literally. I wasn't like, oh no, I have to go to the doctor. Because it was like just the introduction, I'm like, yeah. Like, World Cup... balls to the walls, like, pressure of your country. I was like, I can't do this right now. I'm not in the right headspace. Yeah, so.
All right, I'll have to check that one out.
Tell you what wasn't also in the right space. My boner. Anyway, that's,
What a phallic talk on this episode. Yeah.
But TV-wise, I think that's kind of where I peak.
What do you got? I had Welcome to Wrexham. I think Good and bad.
Okay.
I think it's a cool story, and there's definitely moments where, you see the reaction from Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney.
Yep.
And it's great. Like, when they actually got promoted, like that episode, that was amazing. Like they're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciate that. I love the story. You kind of get more behind the scenes. I could probably do less with like the campy jokey, but I mean, that's just their niche, and they are good at it. But I think is probably, as far as like other TV shows, that's pretty good. The other one was Sunderland Till I Die. Now this is pretty old at this point,
Mm-hmm.
and the only reason I brought it up was because it's talking about them, and they're trying to get back to the top. And at this point, I knew that they had, I think, successive seasons dropped leagues. Like they got relegated from the Premier League, then got relegated to the Championship.
Oh,
so it's kind of like because I just saw a clip on like social media of Spartacus, or like
like the HBO Spartacus.
Yes,
and
it's like one of those things where like it's so awesome, and you love all these characters, be like, they're all gonna die.
Oh yeah.
So it's like watching this, docu-series, and they're talking about, we're gonna buy this player because, like, we have only this much, and just like, I know where this ends.
You're slowly watching the train wreck.
It's not great. Yeah. So it's still like, I think Sunderland is a club with some great history and some true champions for that team. I think it was a great story. Unfortunately, knowing where it ends, still a good watch. So those are my TV. Hoping that there is more. Now again, obviously, we're stuck with mainstream American media.
Mm-hmm.
As we have streaming services, there's more media from other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, because I love me some British TV. So hopefully, there's some out there that might. But those are my TV. All right, hit me with your movies.
Am I circling back to Green Street Hooligans, or are we going to wait on that one?
No, you can.
Okay.
If you can start off with that.
I watched it 3 nights ago. So
Okay.
up extra late. Made it till 10:30.
Whoa.
Oh, was I
badass.
tired the next day.
Badass.
It was good. I enjoyed it. It got me a little fired up. A young Charlie Hunnam and a not weird-looking Elijah Wood. Because I feel like he's just got something odd about him. I don't know what
You're just picturing him as a hobbit? I mean, he's
don't
not
think
always a
I
hobbit.
don't think I've seen any of those movies like front to back.
You've never seen Lord of the Rings?
No, I'm sure I have. I just like, I don't know, it's so long. I gotta sit in the rain and
I'm so angry right now.
No, I'm sure I have.
Shit.
I don't know. Oddly enough, I get him, and you're gonna be so pissed. I get him and Daniel Radcliffe mixed up a lot.
All right,
just because it's just like 2 young kids who did a wizardry thing. Like they did like mythical.
Are you comparing Lord of the Rings to Harry Potter?
I know they're different people.
You choose your next words carefully, sir.
I get so much hate mail.
Choose.
No, I just like, oh yeah, that's that one. Like that's how it usually goes. Anyway, it was good. I enjoyed it. Like it got me fired up. And the best, I just hit the microphone. God damn it.
That was unintentional acoustics.
Ooh, nice. What I liked about it the most is how it shows the true passion for the game. Now, of course, it is deeply steeped in violence.
Yeah, does it make you want to stick a credit card into somebody's mouth like they did to?
That was
a scene.
At one point, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but like at one point, I yelled out like, his whole hands in his throat.
The movie is like almost. It's got to be almost a decade or
2005.
Old. Yeah, you aren't ruining it. If they haven't seen it, it's too late.
But it was good. Like it was good.
Charlie Hunnam dies.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments where I'm like, oh god, like I wanted to like crawl into the couch cushions at like lines that like Elijah Wood said as he like was quickly indoctrinated into like this group of West Ham like
the Green Street Elite
fanatics.
Yeah,
it was good. Like
fuck Millwall.
Yeah, like I've asked people if they've seen it, if they haven't. I was like, hey, you should go check it out. Like it was a decent flick.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
That was probably my first introduction to a soccer related movie it had to be a decade, which will probably my other movies will kind of stem to that. But I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was relatively deep. Obviously did not see Charlie Hunnam getting.
No.
I guess you kind of saw it, but kind of not.
Yeah.
But it was it was just a good movie, and I think the way it made Elijah Wood, who like looks like he's 90 pounds soaking wet, made him look like legit at the end, like a legit badass. You know, like
it didn't seem 5'2"
right. It didn't seem campy. It just like you were like, yeah, like this dude looks like who could beat me up. So obviously, I enjoyed that. So outside of Green Street Hooligans,
also sub note, because I texted this to you, the wife in that movie is stunning.
Well, if you like her in that, then you would also. I mean, it's probably one of my favorite Brad Pitt movies is Meet Joe Black.
I have not seen that. And there's a lot of movies I haven't seen.
I know,
well established.
But that is she's in that.
Okay.
As well.
All right.
It's the love interest, and it's
on my list now.
He's just so damn charming.
Well, another one is Ladybugs.
Fantastic.
Which,
by the way, you want to talk about classic, like old school hottie? Is the daughter on the soccer team?
Okay.
I think she's also the same one who plays like the love interest in Hocus Pocus. I could be making that up, but I will.
That might be true. We have the internet.
Double check. So start talking. I'm going to internet.
If it's the same girl, like that's like core memory, early crush. You're like, yeah, that's I don't know what's happening, but I like it. I'm pretty sure Ladybugs was mid-90s. You can't get away with some of the things that were being done. Plus, like Rodney Dangerfield as a coach is just like gonna be ridiculous, but. If you want to go in the Wayback Machine in
1992,
I was going to say 1994, but I just throw dates out there of Disney movies and hope they.
Vanessa Shaw.
Vanessa Shaw.
And yes, it is the same one from
Hocus
Pocus. Yeah.
Yeah. That and
it's the original. She's the Man.
She's the Man in reverse.
Right.
The boy wanted to play on the girls' team, and then She's the Man. The girl played on the boys' team.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum is in She's the Man.
Correct.
He's the love interest.
Yes. Well,
my wife loves that movie. She's the Man.
It's a movie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's got soccer in it.
Yeah.
And then one that wasn't originally on the list that I also just added, quality flick, Kicking and Screaming, the Will Ferrell movie where he pretty much doesn't want to be his dad coaching soccer, but ends up turning into his dad. The fact that towards the end of the movie, he's in the matching tiger tracksuit, and the Italian job is just the two butcher's kids who are just like running amok amongst the field, just like scoring bicycle goals, like gives me great joy. But yeah, that's a good quality family soccer movie.
I did not see that. And the reason...
please do.
The reason for that was because it was during that time where, like, there were two times in my life where, like, an actor was just firing out movies left and right. I was just like, I've had enough. Will Ferrell was one of them. Mm-hmm. Seth Rogen was the other. So Will Ferrell, like, had come out with, I think it was, like, not Journey to the Center of the Earth. It was another, like...
Land of the Lost?
Land of the Lost.
Yeah, firing on all cylinders, baby.
You know, it was like Anchorman, Step Brothers, Kicking and Streaming,
Old
Bewitched. Cool. Like, there was just, like, I was just like... Elf. I was like, I can't. I just need a break. And Kicking and Screaming was where I drew the line.
Okay, yeah, I think that was the same for a lot of people.
I was just like, I can't. So I haven't seen it, but I'll probably try and go back to it because I think I probably would enjoy it. Now, I had a couple others up there. I did have Ladybugs, obviously classic. You know, if you love Rodney Dangerfield, there's nothing not to love about Ladybugs.
Yeah.
Will is a movie that I put. This is a very Liverpool-centric movie. I think my cousin Anthony was the one who put me onto it, but basically it's a kid who's, you know, him and his father and his grandfather are diehard Liverpool fans, and it's kind of tracking the road to Istanbul, the famous Liverpool Champions League win, and the father gets two tickets to the game, but then the father suddenly passes away, so like the kid is obviously devastated, but he's determined to go to the game, and he kind of like just goes rogue, and like he's going to get to the game and be friends like this somehow ex-soccer player. I think he was like Greek or something, and it's just their journey to get to the Champions League final, and at the end he, you know, somehow gets in the tunnel, sees King Kenny and sees Steven Gerrard, and it just, again, as a Liverpool fan, obviously I loved it. I still think it was a fairly good soccer flick, so that was in there. The Big Green as a kid. Now this, we talked about classically handsome Brett Goldstein.
Yep.
This is classically handsome Steve Guttenberg, as like 3 Men and a Baby, just like that old school. Just
didn't.
You don't think he was classically handsome?
No.
What? Like just
wait. Who were the other guys? Was Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck and Ted Danson and 3 Men and a Baby. They all of them in their own right. Were...
Steve Guttenberg is the freaking hand grenade of that trio.
Yeah, but and it's just. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Hey, it's not bad.
Like I said last episode, there's a face for every ass. Go on.
Exactly. All right. So, and in this, there's obviously a
Police Academy. Steve Guttenberg,
classically handsome. Classically, it's a thing. Anyway.
No, I know it's a thing.
So
it's just
a teacher comes in. She's from the UK.
Okay.
She's trying to get the kids engaged. And she's like, "Oh, what can we do?" So she finds a soccer ball. She's obviously gorgeous.
Yeah.
And she, takes them out on to teach them how to play soccer. And so they form a team.
Yep.
And they,
I'm assuming Steve Guttenberg in this.
He was a punter, and so he could just kick the ball really fast.
No, but they fall in love.
They do.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's kind of sort of. It's not like the main focus.
One single smooch.
Right. Yep. Maybe. But they, so the team's good.
Okay.
Not great. They happen to find a kid from Latin America who's awesome. And so they, go on a tear. My favorite part, though, is the goalie is the same actor who played Ham from The Sandlot.
Oh.
And his big thing is he keeps every time, it's an odd man rush.
Yeah.
He imagines the opposing team is pirates or ninjas. And so they transform, and every time he gets soccer ball, gets kicked, it starts going 1,000 miles, and he catches it and blasts it into the goal, and then he's rolling around in the net. I die laughing every time. And then obviously at the end he conquers his fears and becomes an amalgam of all of them. And
okay.
It's a good
feel-good movie,
feel-good soccer flick. The other team is the team you hate. They try and get the kid deported.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, real assholes.
Yeah. Wow.
So great flick.
Yep.
And definitely one I think people should watch. It's lighthearted.
Love it.
One with you if you're trying to get your kids into soccer. The Big Green.
Big Green.
Again, we talked about Next Goal Wins. Really excited to see that. I'm a huge Taika Waititi fan. I've seen a lot of his shows, a lot of his movies, so really excited for that. Shaolin Soccer. Now, that is something that I'm not really gonna.
Is this on the same line as Three Ninjas, where it's
No, so it's dubbed. So
okay, all right,
yeah, which makes it it's kind of like Godzilla movie-esque dubbed, and it's a bunch of Shaolin monks who they were basically were taught the ways of Shaolin and then kind of lost their way, so they
sitting around just cornholing
So one of
each other.
one of them tries to get the other monks back together, and they form a soccer team, but they use their skills, Shaolin skills, and I mean it's
and they play in robes, right? Because obviously they play in robes.
No, they play in uniforms.
Oh, really?
Well, one of them might be in the traditional Shaolin monk, but anyway,
okay,
take the use of those martial arts and those moves into soccer, and
flowing like water.
Balls are on fire, flying, and it's you can at least watch the trailer.
Okay,
it's amazingly. I don't know how to describe it. It's just worth a watch.
Okay.
It's entertaining and funny, but probably not trying to be funny. But it definitely was my pick.
All right.
And so those were my picks for TV and movie. But I did have a little added bonus.
Yeah.
As I did some research, as we're talking about all the TV shows and movies. Might not know of some actors that if things had not happened, could have actually become professional soccer players.
Really? They were that good?
They were that good.
All right.
So some of these are speculation, but Antonio Banderas was a...
classically handsome man.
He's
much more handsome than Steve Guttenberg.
Listen, okay?
Go on. Oh, that's it. Just Antonio Banderas.
Well, Antonio Banderas, he actually had I think he broke his knee, but up until that point was going through academies where he grew up and was potentially going to be able to be, go on further. But
he'd be a great manager. Even now, I feel his presence, the way he looks, he has manager written all over him.
Good. Sean Connery played for Bonnyrigg Rose and was rumored to have been called. So this was the one that was like rumored.
Okay.
It was rumored to have been called up to try out for Manchester United. Never went. Obviously, we know the rest is history. James Bond, to name.
The dog's name was Indiana.
It's funny, like I love Sean Connery, but anytime I think, all I can think of is like Celebrity Jeopardy is.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Hey Trebek, what's the difference between you and a mallard with a cold? One's a sick duck. I can't remember the rest. Your mother's a whore. So, R.I.P. Sean Connery. Matt Smith. So Matt Smith has played an iteration of Doctor Who. He was in the very terrible Morbius movie. He was in
the
new the Game of Thrones show, the House of Dragons. Yeah. He plays somebody. I haven't watched it, but anyway, he played for Leicester City's youth team.
Okay.
Then was diagnosed with cervical.
Yeah. Spondylosis.
Spondylosis, thanks, buddy. Yep. So a degenerative back disease that makes sport performance at the highest level impossible.
Oh, man,
and thus,
yeah, jeez.
And probably the most famous soccer player who actually, was played for professional soccer teams, Vinnie Jones.
Okay.
Do you?
No.
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Oh, is that the Guy Ritchie?
Guy Ritchie film, yep. So
no, that's what I have not seen that one.
So that's where and he might have actually been. I don't know if he was in Snatch as well.
Snatch is one of my top 5 movies of all time.
But so Vinnie Jones was also. Do you see Euro Trip?
Yes.
He's the leader of like the Manchester United fan club.
Okay.
But anyway, Vinny, Gone in 60 Seconds. He was a silent guy with Nick Cage and.
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
okay.
So Vinnie Jones, he actually was a member of Wimbledon.
Was he the guy who carried the Desert Eagle? Eagle 5.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. So famous actor, but also he played for Wimbledon and famously on that team. Beat Liverpool in the FA Cup in 1988 with a score of 1-0. He didn't score the goal. And the other thing I thought was I think he's a little loopy.
Yeah.
So obviously, during games where, players are holding mascots, actually like during like the warm-ups, like those kids get to like kick the ball around, have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so Vinnie Jones thought, it'd be funny because no one had done it before to like, as a player, like the kid was going to score a goal to like slide tackle him. And so like he just starts running at this kid. There's like a picture of like the kid, the kid couldn't have been more than like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And like Vinnie Jones just 2-foot tackles him. Like all his players are just like, no!
Cleans him out.
Cleans the kid out like because he thought it would be funny.
Oh, see, I didn't know they were called mascots because when you say mascot, I picture freaking Gritty from the Phillies, just like
that's how the
It's an audio medium, but I'm gyrating my hips right now in a very, very seductive way, like the Philadelphia Flyers mascot Gritty.
So that is
use your imagination.
So Vinnie Jones, I thought that was oh god, I can't get that out of my head. So Vinnie Jones, that was the way I wanted to kind of circle things.
Yeah.
As he's the perfect blend of soccer player and movie star.
Mm-hmm.
So to close that out, I think we should check in on the Vino.
Yeah, let's.
I need to re-up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another little taste here. Again, it's your run-of-the-mill cab. It's friendly. It's non-threatening. It's not dry. I'm waiting for you to like dry out a little bit. Still getting black and red fruits up front. The vanilla has quieted down a little bit.
I'm waiting for you to tell me what a threatening wine is because there have been a lot of non-threatening ones. So
I'm going to take a first sip and be like, "Oh,
Mike,
no,
the wine has a gun to my head."
I'm so scared.
I'm getting more vanilla on the nose.
Okay, a threatening wine. That's going to be. I can't wait to use that. Mike.
It said it has my family.
It said it would slash my tires.
I feel like I just don't have the palate to hit those nuances. I want that clove. I want that tobacco. Yeah. I'm going in for another taste.
Not getting tobacco, not getting char. It's still like very 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 heavy, but gentle. It's not like cutting. It's not tart. It's actually very smooth. It's not warm, so to say, both temperature and like taste wise.
Yeah.
It's just a quality run-of-the-mill cab. Cab Sav in the biz. Wink, wink. Cab Sav.
There's so many things I want to say right now, but I'm just gonna let it go.
Just me doing the friggin' gritty hip thrust towards the microphone. But yeah, no, I think it's good. I think this is one of the better ones we've tasted. So I'm already formulating a score that I'm going there.
All right, I'm taking a couple, and I really want to dig into this one before we get to the next segment.
Excellent. So as we transition from tasting to punching,
I just said I needed a fucking second.
I know. I'm trying to. This is called professional filler right here. I was going to set the table.
Oh,
yeah, I was waiting for you to
set the tone.
Sit down, grab your fork. See, now you done goofed. You done goofed me up. Yeah.
You fucking really.
No, you really
you just lost it.
You really twisted me up. Anyway, we've got more emails coming in. We got a good feedback. Now that the holidays are over, I think people are, kind of getting back in the routine, right? They're going to work. They're not sitting on the couches, like becoming the fabric, being like pieces of shit, eating sugar cookies all day long. So we've got a pretty good email contribution this week, which is super exciting. Again, so thankful for the emails that come in, for the people following us. Like, this is really...
For the people I pester, very appreciative.
Yeah.
All right, so...
Yeah, what do you got? What are you feeling?
I'm still... I don't taste as much cherry now, mostly blackberry. I still taste a little bit of vanilla. There's the lightest bit of dry finish.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever, like, I always feel it on the sides of my tongue. Like, it just, like, it feels like I need to have a little bit of water afterwards. So that's what I equate with. It just has a little bit, but it is smooth.
Yeah, it's super smooth.
It is lighter than I would have liked it, but again, I think, like me, I'm just, and maybe it's the latest wine that we've made, that I'm just here for, like, the bold,
big mouthfeel.
Yeah, I really am.
Yeah,
and so I do enjoy it.
I think if this was any heavier in the mouth, it wouldn't be as enjoyable.
I don't know, because I don't necessarily equate mouthfeel with alcohol content or acidity. I just think it has, like, there's just a blend that I think, like, it has more body and it can still be super smooth and still be heavy. Like, I want to
feel like I'm viscous. You don't want
like drinking like a glass of, like, chocolate milk. I just want it to be that thick. I want like an Oikos Greek yogurt thickness. That's what I'm looking for. So it's not, but it's yeah. Stick that in your fife and smoke it.
But it's good. I like this. I get a score rolling around my head that I think is going to be fair for this wine.
All right. So thank you for the half-assed, lost train of thought segue.
Yep.
That's what you're here for.
That's what I'm here for.
As it is time.
I haven't drank in 2 weeks. I'm like, hey, still have pants on. Anyway, go on.
We're going to finish that bottle, baby. It is time for who we're gonna punch in the face.
Here we go. Splice it.
So Ryan chose Sheffield United for none other reason than...
They're going down.
They're going down. So, hey, you know what? Why not kick them when they're down?
They're going down.
So we do have, as Ryan stated, we do have some write-in. So again, a thank you to everyone who does write in and for dealing with my pestering, because it is our favorite part of the podcast. We want to keep it going. Hopefully it does eventually become organic, but if it doesn't, you're going to hear from me. So first off, short and sweet, we have from the lovely Jess. Jess identified that she wants to punch Oliver McBurney this week from Sheffield United.
McBurney. Oh my God.
For the sole reason that he looks too smug in his official team photo.
Okay.
Short and sweet, but hey, you know what? When you feel it, you feel it. And I think a lot of ours are going purely on aesthetics as they were.
Yeah.
So we're...
Like, if you look at a picture, like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, like, you can just...
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. So thank you, Jess, for always being a constant when it comes to the write-ins, and may they continue.
Yes.
Next one is from our beloved CJ, who's back in the game after a week off, and surely was he missed.
Email is entertaining
as always. So, CJ writes, "Hey boys, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you as well, buddy.
Indeed.
Sorry I missed last week. Hope you both had a Merry Christmas. We did, and hope the same for you. Now on to the bums of Sheffield.
Love it.
I realized a lot that punchable face submissions have some background knowledge of who the players are. Maybe they are a dirty player, or a jerk, or are really good on a team you hate. I really have no clue about any of these players, so my submissions couldn't be more shallow and strictly someone whose looks annoy me. So the most punchable face for me goes to Tom Davies.
God damn it.
Really, CJ always just steals the thunder from Ryan. It's not so much his face, but his hair. The curly shoulder-length hair reminds me of Kenny G or Carrot Top. Then he has to do the headband and ponytail bun thing, just a gross look.
Yeah, not great at all.
Yeah. Trying to add some more background to my submission, I went on his Instagram and was legitimately shocked at what I saw and solidified my pick. I'm having a hard time even describing some of his outfits. In one of the pictures, he's at a fashion show in New York wearing what looks like a brown bathrobe, a white button-down shirt with the sleeves cuffed off over the bathrobe, and a gray neck kerchief.
It's an ascot.
Well, there you go. He didn't know what it was called, and there it is.
Yeah, edutainment. See?
Yeah, there you go. Beige pants and a bright purple pointed high-heeled shoe, along with rounded sunglasses and his signature curly hair down to his shoulders.
Wait, hold on. Go scroll down that picture. Does it show his shoes? Oh, Jesus Christ, what an asshole.
Yeah. This is one of dozens of pictures that could have picked to highlight why this guy deserves a punch in the face. But I'm sure he's a great guy. Love the podcast, CJ. Thank you, CJ. And a thank you for the picture, which I will definitely use in the post on the Instagram account, as it is pretty damaging.
We can start vetting these because I'm pretty sure CJ and I have matched on.
No, I love the fact that he absolutely burns the bridges that you are going to walk across. So no, we're gonna keep it going for years to come. All right, and our next comes from a lovely couple across the pond. Patrick writes, "Evening, boys.
Evening.
Happy New Year to you both. I hope you had a good one." Same to you, Pat. I'll try and dose myself up with Valium this time so I don't just run through a whole squad roster like last time. We definitely appreciated it, but everything's a learning process, so we learn from our experiences, and here we go.
Happy accident.
All right, so his is Ben Raritan Diaz. I mean, have you seen the story about this bloke and how he plays for Chile now after never making it for England? No offense to the Irish squad, obviously. He found out he was eligible to play for Chile when he was playing Football Manager. Not sure you have those over there, the most addictive game ever.
Is that like Farm Simulator? Because I almost played that the other day.
I'll start fresh-faced, then appear after a week with a beard like Mike. That's great. He's literally from fucking Stoke, England, which is the biggest shithole northern town. If Putin drove through it, he'd think he'd already captured it. Oh my god, that's incredible. Literally makes me cringe that he's now dropped the Ben part of his name and is now known as Brereton Diaz.
Oh, so he's trying to legitimize
I get playing for a country that means something to you or your family, but come on, man, have some shame.
Did his abuela come from there? I'm assuming Chile, Spanish speaking, abuela.
That is,
grandmother.
His grandmother, yes.
Bueno.
And now from his lovely Mrs. to be, Nicola. I apologize for
it's a beautiful name.
Beautiful name, Irish name. Yeah.
There you go.
I apologize for his rage last time. We're trying to see if he has Tourette's. Thank God it wasn't Spurs. Otherwise, you've been reading it, and we'd be having chest pains. West Ham Tottenham in our house is fun, as you can imagine. She's a Spurs fan.
Ah, sorry.
Yeah. She goes with Brewster for no other reason that he looked like a serial killer when I Googled the squad.
Brewster is like Prince?
Rian
it's just
Brewster.
One name?
Rian Brewster.
Riann?
I think there's an H in there.
Oh, that's confusing.
Not this picture. Yep. Rian Brewster.
Oh, yeah, wasn't he?
Oh, we'll get to that. Yep.
Sorry.
No. Really enjoy the show. It's hilarious. And I'll be having a glass of Madeira Red tonight for the same.
Nice.
Now,
yes,
we always appreciate drinking while listening. Madeira wine, though, as you got to, Nicola, you got to step up your game. Madeira wine is alcoholic grape juice. I'm sorry to our Portuguese listeners, but
that's what you make like a spritzer with.
Yeah,
you mix with 7-Up or Sprite.
There's better vinos out there, and
we
recommend that you take a gander at some of the ones we drink on the podcast to expand that palate.
Oh yeah.
So to that, I also agree with your pick for Rhian Brewster. It's not my pick, but he was a player who played for Liverpool.
Yep, I remember.
Wasn't
striker,
wasn't a first pick, and didn't, decided that he thought the grass was greener elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't know the internal of the politics, but he didn't like the fact that the playing time he was getting, so we sold him for 20 mil, which I think we fleeced Sheffield United for.
Oh yeah.
So great pick.
Oh yeah.
Nicholas, you got it, and we hope that, along with Pat, you guys continue to write in, because we love to hear from everyone, and I think you guys have a great insight being from the UK. So that wraps up our write-ins.
Thank you, everyone. That was excellent.
Thank you.
CJ, I know what to expect because it's just my pick every week, but
it's going to be fun to see if that continues.
All right. You go first this week. I went first last week. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Bring the heat.
Set the tone. So my pick for most punchable face is none other than Oliver Norwood. And if you look at this guy's team photo, you just say, God was like, we're going to give this nice, round, perfect face, and then we're going to fucking cram his eyes, nose, and mouth within 1 cubic inch of each other. And just, so he has, this might be a 6 head, not a 4 head, not a 5 head.
There's a lot of space.
It's a 6 head. Then, a little bit to me, one of the ears sticks out a little farther. I have that problem. So it's more like internal hatred I'm projecting.
You're projecting.
But you just look, he's got not a good tooth to gum ratio, really just overbite city. And
is it your projector? Does he have a horrific scar above his right eye?
Yeah, he's the Harry Potter of fucking
who's not Elijah
the Wood. Premier League, who's not Elijah Wood. Yeah, so expecto, punch him in the fucking face. I just I can't get over everything is just condensed, and I just want to take his cheeks and just stretch his skin out to try and really.
Yeah. He you know what he looks like? He looks like if you took him out of the jersey, out of the kit, he looks like generic high school English teacher. He'll tell you about the symbolism in Great Gatsby. It's just he's just friendly neighborhood high school English teacher.
And then honorable mention, just because I'm going to mispronounce his name, but it's Anal. Good old Anal. Ahmed Hodzik. And yeah, he's not a bad looking character. His 2 front teeth look like they might be a little askew, but your name is very close to Anal, so
yeah,
I'm gonna maybe not a punch, just a little slap, little glove slap across the face. So those are my 2 picks.
Good.
And all right, so Rye, let's hear what you have to say.
Well, as I've already verbalized, I have the same pick as frequent emailer CJ, because great minds think alike. I also chose Tom Davies. Now, I follow the same process. We've mentioned it on here. I do a Google search of the team. I click on players, and that's what I go with the pictures. I don't do deep dives into any other picture. It's the first one that comes up, and whatever feels right, it's like true love, I go with. I have so many questions for Tom Davies, really. One is, what color? You then ask, what color of?
What color of?
Is his Subaru Outback. Oh. Because I've never seen a fucking...
Hey, we have a Subaru Outback.
I know, so does my brother.
Okay.
Listen, my wife has a Subaru Forester. It is the best car in the snow I've ever driven. There's not a knock on Subarus. I'm just
Eleanor's going to get that car.
This guy is going to tell you about his Subaru, as well as his granola farm, as well as the triple IPA he had in someone's basement brewery that is just second to none. He looks, in his pictures, looks like the biggest fucking hippity-dippity, earthy, crunchy... I can't believe in some of these pictures he's actually an athlete, because he looks like he just walked out of an LA alleyway after freaking giving a guy a fucking suck job in the back of a Chevy Cavalier for about 50 cents and a friggin' pack of smokes. He is not an attractive man. And listen, as someone who has a good head of hair, the guy has a good head of hair, but he wears it like a fucking asshole. All right? There's one picture that literally looks, it is alarming. He looks drunk, stoned, and like I said, just friggin' gave a guy a smooth underneath a bridge somewhere.
That might be the most epic punchable face rant I think we've ever had on the podcast.
Thanks, man. There you go. Yeah. That comes from a place of pure and utter hatred.
Incredible stuff. I'm glad we recorded.
I feel good now. I really feel like a weight is lifted from my shoulder.
Yeah, it seemed like you just like
both
had
shoulders,
that
not
thing
just
in the
one
holster,
shoulder.
and like you and CJ together. That
I just blacked out. Actually, I don't know. I just kept looking at this picture, and
Tom Davies should probably feel bad about himself.
No, and fuck this guy because he used to play for Everton. So like, there's that too.
There's that. So,
but
yeah,
every picture I find of him is just less flattering than the next. And yes, obviously I understand he's a professional athlete, but you know what? It's not what we're here for. I'm going to shit on his physical appearance and the fact that he looks like he would. Oh my God, why did I do that? No, he dresses and looks like an asshole. There you go.
There you go.
Done.
Beautiful. That.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a sip of water because that really.
Wow.
Enjoy that, folks.
That's a great way to round out the most punchable face for this episode, and to give the listeners a little tease of what to expect for next episode. Where we're at right now is, from a Premier League perspective, we're in that January break. Obviously, there's still cup games, but we're in the January transfer window. So there's a little bit of lull in the Premier League, so we thought that during this month, this would be a good time to kind of give a recap of where the season is at.
Love it.
Not just obviously where the teams are at. You can obviously look at the standings, but more so of like what's been going on, big things that have kind of happened in the first half of the season. We also want to talk about injury list because I think that's a big part of, as these years continue, players are just, there's no breaks, right? In between seasons, there's, the Euros, there's the World Cup. During the season, there's the African Cup of Nations, there's the Asia Cup. There's just no break. So we're seeing these players that are.
You say Copa America?
Copa America.
Yeah, nailed it. All right.
So there's no break, right? These players get burnt out, they get injured. So we're going to kind of talk about where certain big teams are as far as their injury list, because that could obviously impact the second half of the season. We're also going to talk about some signings. Obviously, I don't think by the time we air the podcast, we might not the January transfer window may not have closed, so we might not have all of them, but we're going to have a decent amount of them so we can kind of rate how teams did when it comes to the transfer window.
But hey, one door closes, another one opens.
Yeah, right. Fucking, live, laugh, love. Any other fucking pearls? God doesn't close a door without opening a window.
It only takes one.
Isn't there? It takes two, baby.
No, it only takes one.
It only takes one
to get a girl pregnant.
All right.
My high school health teacher was like, "Listen here." He's like, "It only takes one." I'm like, "What one?" He's like, "One sperm." I'm like, "Oh God, I'm terrified." Anyway, go on.
That's going to be the topic and the team that we're going to pick as we're halfway through. So I was trying to pick a team halfway in the table. The team that's dead is right smack in the middle is Chelsea. We've already done them. The next closest one was Wolves, which we're saving for a special episode in the month of March. Mm-hmm. So Bournemouth is going to be the team we choose for none other than their 12th. So they were kind of smack dab in the middle. So the next team for Punchable Face is going to be Bournemouth, as we kind of give a recap of during this winter intercession-esque talk about that. So before we talk about the wine that we will be drinking for next episode, Rye, let's give our final thoughts on this wine and a score.
I'm going to do one culminating sip and then give you a score. I got a number in my head. It's been within a point plus or minus of what I've had since the beginning.
1 decimal place.
Only one. It's not scientifically backed. It's not changed a whole lot. Very black, red berry, up front, vanilla, not overpoweringly sweet like you would get in like an Apothic Red, which is way too sweet for me. Can't do it. This is going to be my highest score yet. I'm going 8.1. I really like it. It's smooth. The flavor notes are something I like. I think no one would have any complaints about this wine by any means. There's nothing super polarizing about it to be like, oh, I don't like it. And again, like Cabernet Sauvignons are like a fairly user-friendly wine where like you can't go wrong. Yeah, so I'm going highest score yet, mark it down, 8.1.
All right. And I don't really think I have too much to add from a flavor profile, taste. I think I taste the same notes, so I'm not going to just, talk to hear myself. We've done enough of that for podcast to podcast. So I agree with the flavor profile, obviously the color, the legs stand on its own. But for me, I do enjoy a bolder wine. I wanted more mouthfeel. I wanted
viscosity.
Yeah.
Pretty
much.
Viscosity.
So, but again, it is enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think for the price point, it's a nice cab.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 7.7.
Nice. That's a good
Yeah.
You know what? It's a good score for you.
Thanks, buddy.
I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So, talk about the wine we're going to be drinking for next episode.
Yes.
Not everything ties together perfectly, but we're in this kind of lull, right? We had the big to-do about Christmas.
Sure
then
did.
There's New Year's. Now it's kind of like the drab, like, we need something. We need a spark.
Sure do.
So we need something to spice things up.
Yeah, we do.
And to that, the wine we're going to be drinking for
Boner pills. Oh, sorry. No, you go.
Okay.
Okay.
The next wine we are going to be drinking is...
Sorry.
You fucking idiot. We're going to be drinking Silk and Spice, but more specifically the Spice Road blend. It's a Portuguese.
Sure is.
And so again, as the, spice things up, so that's what we're going to be drinking for next week.
It does have a blend of grapes, one of which we have not sampled yet. But yeah, Silk and Spice, go get a bottle, drink it with us while you listen. It's got it looks to be like a compass of sorts on the front. It's a sexy bottle.
It's nice.
You're going to drink, you might have passionate, consensual sex with your significant other after drinking this wine. What
a way to close things out. Why did you have to put consensual in there? Are you having non-consensual sex with your partner? Okay.
Listen, what people do behind their own doors.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
I'm not out there peeping. Anyway.
You know what? Before Ryan says anything else, we would love
it's a new year, baby.
We would love to keep going. But after VAR review, we are officially out of wine.
Sure are.
And thus, we'll need to put the final cork in this episode and say, listen to us next time on another episode of Vino Volley. Ryan, normally, without any, just take us out, my friend.
As always, remember, sip and soccer responsibly. We bid you a Freddie adieu.